The murder of Sonic the Hedgehog, or as everyone likes to abbreviate it to,
English, motherfucker, do you speak it?
is an intriguing game, which funnily enough was actually released as an April Fool's present to everyone. Well, it was released technically a day early, but it still counts. And best of all, this game was completely free, and surprisingly, it actually got extremely well received. From what I recall, this game just kind of dropped out of nowhere. Sega were just like, oh yeah, we've made a visual novel, enjoy I guess. And so we all did. I'm not gonna lie, visual novels aren't exactly my cup of tea, but considering that this game was free, I just said, fuck it, why not? There goes any potential for any sort of monetization. Not that I'm eligible for it, but still. I just figured that while I'm making the Sonic Frontiers video, which is going to take a heck of a long time, I thought I'd just throw something out there in between. And considering that this is a game that I've not played in a long time, I just kind of wanted an excuse to play through it again. So ladies and gentlemen, please join me as we attempt to murder Sonic the Hedgehog. No, sorry, find out who murdered him. We're not murdering anyone here. Without further ado, welcome to this mini review, if you will, of the murder of Sonic the Hedgehog. Oh, that's nice. So right off the bat, as you can tell, this game has a lot of personality. I'm just saying the artists definitely need a raise after this one. So right off the bat, the very first thing that this game has you doing is creating a custom character. Now what I mean by that is that this game actually gives you a character. We'll just call him this.
Are you username ladiesman217?
I don't know what you're talking about.
Are you username ladiesman217?
And it turns out that it is your first day on the job, and your first task is to entertain your guests, and of course to make sure that they have a safe and wonderful time. And it turns out that your guests are none other than the likes of Sonic the Hedgehog, celebrating Amy Rose's birthday. And what she wanted to do for her birthday was this murder mystery game aboard a train. Sounds like fun, right? Well... Now, the first 3/4 of this game is indeed a murder mystery game, and you kind of take part in it. Even though your primary job is to make sure that everybody's safe and having a good time, you are often requested to figure out riddles to help out the characters in this game, which is kind of neat and really wholesome. But then as we get into the final act of the game, everything kind of goes a little bit pear-shaped and things get a little bit serious. Now, I am going to try and refrain from spoilers because I very much would like you guys to go out of your way to play this game yourself, because like I said earlier on in the video, even as somebody who's not a massive fan of visual novels, I kind of had a good time with this one. Now, admittedly, the riddles and the puzzles in this game are nothing to write home about. They're not too difficult, but at the end of the day, it is a game kind of marketed towards younger audiences. So if you're expecting something really difficult and elaborate, you're not going to find it here. In some cases, the writing is kind of on the wall of what you need to say and do, but I personally don't really see that as a hindrance or a bad thing, because the story is more compelling than the actual puzzles in my opinion. The game as well is only roughly about 3 hours long. Like, you can literally play this game and finish it in one sitting, and that is more than enough for this game, especially considering that it is free. However, even though that this game is free, that doesn't mean it's exempt from criticism. I'm just going to say right now, there's no branching paths, no major replayability here, unless of course you do what I did and not play it for a long time and then revisit it like months later. Because it's got one story and one ending, and that's it. Which isn't a terrible thing or a deal breaker, that's absolutely fine, but this game is very much a one and done game. You play through it once, you've practically seen everything this game has to offer. Also, this might be an unpopular opinion, this game features these mini games as you're trying to crack the case and find out more clues, where you basically have to collect a set number of rings before you reach the goal. Personally, I found these parts of the game extremely tedious. I like the inclusion of these little mini games, I'm not the biggest fan of the execution. Some of them just felt unnecessarily frustrating. And because of the way the camera was angled, it just felt awkward to control at times. Like, you would think that you would clear a set of spikes and then Sonic would get hit by them anyway, despite the fact that it was clear that you wasn't even touching them. However, that could just be a me issue, it could be my perception or whatever, I don't know, but I just personally was not a fan of these minigames. However, all is well in the world because Sonic hits us with one of these.
Damn it!
As you can probably tell, this is me clutching at straws. I don't think this game does a lot wrong, and I can't really complain about the things it does quote-unquote wrong, because it's free. Now, obviously, a game being free is not a get-out-of-jail-free card, but this game is actually really well made. I won't lie to you guys. Yes, I know it's just a visual novel, and compared to other games, not that much goes into these, but that's besides the point. With the greatest of respects, if this was the Sega of old, they would find some way to fuck it up. This game is extremely well written and extremely well presented. The art style to this day still stands as one of my favourite art styles in all of Sonic. The aesthetic that this game has is absolutely beautiful. As well, just like with pretty much every Sonic game in existence, this game's soundtrack is absolutely sublime. It creates an atmosphere and a vibe that matches the game to a T. I don't know how big this game's budget was, but I think a majority of it went into the art style and the soundtrack. It's just got this unique charm about it that I absolutely love. Is this game's plot very tongue-in-cheek and cheesy? Yes, it absolutely is. And as the game's plot goes on, a certain somebody does get involved, so it does become a little bit predictable. I'm sure you can all put two and two together. But all in all, I think this game is a very nice treat. At the end of the day, it's free to play and you lose nothing giving it a try. It's short, it's sweet, it's got a lot of charm, and this game is absolutely oozing with personality. While it may not be a game that you sink hours upon hours into, the murder of Sonic the Hedgehog, I can verify, is an absolutely fantastic time and is well worth your time. And even if you're someone like me who's not the biggest fan of visual novels, it is still absolutely 100% worth a try. Now, obviously, if you're a visual novel fan, I don't know how this game holds up to other visual novels, because again, like I've stated in this video, they're not really my cup of tea, so I don't really play them. I don't really have anything to compare this game to, but look, it's free. Like, what have you got to lose? If you have a spare couple of hours lying about, this is absolutely 100% worth a try. It's a cute little package that was released as a joke and actually turned into something that was extremely solid. I'll be honest with you, I don't know if Sega were actually anticipating how well received this game was actually going to be. That, my friends, was the murder of Sonic the Hedgehog. I did want to refrain from spoilers because with a lot of these videos, I don't like to go too much into spoiler territory. Unless, of course, the game is older than like 15 years, then I might consider talking about spoilers. But when the game is only a couple of years old, maybe 3-4 years old, I respect the fact that people still probably haven't played it. And while I could talk about how this game ends and who the killer is, I don't want to do that. I want you guys to figure this out on your own. This game is absolutely worth your time. If you haven't played it, I highly recommend that you do. Because at the end of the day, this game is free. If you like it, great. If you don't like it, you've lost out on nothing. The only thing that you may have lost is your time, and that's really it. I wanted to make this video as sort of a filler, if you will, a buffer review, so to speak, between now and the release of the Sonic Frontiers video. I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. I know it's not the longest, I know it's not the most in-depth, but to be fair, I think the length of this video is probably right for this game. Have you played the murder of Sonic the Hedgehog? And if so, let me know what you think about the game in the comments below. And if you can, guys, please try and refrain from spoilers, because while a lot of you might have played this game, there will still be people out there who haven't. But anyway, I'll love you and leave you. Thank you all so much for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one. Adios.